Hey guys, we are on Lesson 7, Mixing Sequence Audio. This is kind of a review. A lot of this stuff we have done already. Some things might be new, or you may find it as a shortcut to make mixing audio a little bit easier for you. So why don't we go ahead and get started. The stages of audio mixing. We're going to go up to our tools in our audio mixer. Remember, our audio mixer ties into whatever track is down here in our timeline. We only have 2 tracks of audio. This is music that we have playing right now. I can actually do this. So you notice our music is a little bit too loud, way up into the red. Notice our audio tool right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually, there's different ways that we can bring that level down. Okay, so we all know that we can gang, okay, our tracks together. So it ties our 2 faders together. So I can actually bring the faders up, or I can bring them down if I choose to. Okay, I'm going to leave it at 0 because I'm going to show you a few different ways to do this. Another thing that you could do, okay, is even before you edit your music into the timeline. For example, I have my music right here. Okay, my source monitor, and I'm going to find it in my clip. And again, as a review, to find the clip in your bin, click the Find Bin. And here's my music right here. I could actually, how many times do we import music from FirstCom, and the music is very overmodulated or incredibly loud, and then you have to mix it in the audio track? Well, you can actually take care of that step before you even put it into your timeline. Right-click on your audio clip, go to Audio, and then go to Apply Gain. Now remember, our clip gain allows us to increase or decrease the volume or the energy of our audio track. So I could actually take this and type minus, say, 20, hit OK, all right? And then if I look at this audio by going into my toggle source record in timeline, look at how the audio is a lot different. See, it's a lot lower, a little bit mixed, a little bit better. So you can actually edit that in. That is burnt into your clip in there. And now you can edit that into your sequence and in your timeline and not have to worry about really mixing your audio a lot. So that's kind of a neat little tip. Okay, so right click on the clip, go to Audio, go to Apply Gain, and you can change your gain for music or voice or whatever it is that you need to do. There's audio keyframes that you can apply. A lot of us have done audio keyframing. And before I get to that, notice the waveform. Okay, see how it's very wide? It's very difficult to kind of see the indentations or the waves. All right, so there's different ways that you can actually make that easier to view. So if I hit Command K or Command L, see how it makes the tracks bigger? Okay, depending on what I have highlighted. I only have my audio tracks highlighted. So it can make editing audio a little bit easier. And if your eyes are going like mine are, because I'm old, I like to make my tracks a little bit bigger to see. But as I make my tracks bigger, my waveform is still kind of just one big gray blob, gray big mess. So what I want to do is actually decrease the size of the waveform. And you can do that by holding the Option command key down and hitting K. And that will make the waveforms smaller, so it's easier to kind of work with. And if you go L, it makes it bigger. K makes it smaller. So Command K makes the track bigger or smaller. Option Command K makes your waveforms bigger or smaller. So cool little trick that you may want to remember for Avid certification exam purposes. Option Command K. So in your little tool palette right here, okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on my clip gain. And you can see how by having the clip gain on, all right, we can actually start to mix the audio with this little cool little slider right over here. So I can actually click on that. I can actually mix my audio per track which is actually kind of a neat little tool. But you would have to, it doesn't tie the tracks together. You would have to do them separately. So I have to click on my track 2. But if you needed to do a quick little clip gain adjustment, you can use this little tool right here, and it gives you the exact clip level that that appears right in your timeline. Okay, so minus 9.8 decibels, minus 11.8 decibels. All right, so I'm going to bring those back up to 0, or as close as that I can. So audio mixer allows you to adjust the clips, or you can use the clip gain, which is right here, all right, which allows you to adjust individual clips. It's kind of a quicker way to mix your audio. And then finally, you can add keyframes to your timeline to do what I like to call rubber banding. Okay, so you can actually fine tune your levels as you go throughout your audio clip. So if you right click right onto the timeline, there's always one thing that just never works. Oh, I have to click on my pan and my volume. Make sure those are on as well. Now when I right click on it, you can see add keyframe. So I can add different keyframes throughout the timeline. Got to be right on that black line. Add a keyframe. It allows you to kind of rubber band. I can actually, with that keyframe, I can actually move the clip gain up or down as needed. Okay, so I could, start it loud and then have it fade down. Say I was going to have music. You can see how it gets a little bit. Let me mute that one so you can actually hear it better. So it's going to start like that. You can see it getting lower. The level gets lower. You can see it over here. Okay, so it's another way to adjust audio. So your mix tool, audio mixer, your clip gain, and also keyframing will allow you to fine tune your audio mixing. Another thing that we want to talk about is the audio equalizer tool. A lot of you guys have played around with this, but there's a couple of things that I need to point out that you may want to pay attention to on your certification exam. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. So you want to go to Tools in Audio Equalizer. Okay. So the Audio Equalizer tool has a low shelf on the left, which allows you to adjust the hertz on the low shelf of your audio, and then your high shelf on the right, okay, and then your middle shelf right here, which allows you to play with octaves as well. So an octave, for those of you that are not musically inclined, is double the hertz. Okay, so if you want to increase your frequency by an octave from 60 hertz, double that would be 120 hertz. That would be an octave. Okay, so it depends on how you want to mix it. This is really more advanced, and this is for people who study audio and love audio and audio mixing. But it's good to know just a little bit of background on what these little buttons do, so that way you can kind of play around with it if you need to tweak your audio or your equalizer at all. A few things you may want to keep in the back of your mind for certification purposes is the human voice. The human voice has a frequency of approximately 100 to 5,000 hertz. Okay, so if you wanted to adjust the human voice, okay, you want to kind of keep it between 100, all right, notice down here, between 100 and 5,000 hertz. Okay, that will have the biggest impact on the human voice. Say it's like a low rumble, like a car engine or something. Okay, the car engines are usually 500 hertz or below. So those are really important things to know. Okay, the frequency of the human voice and the frequency of things that might have like a low rumble to them. Okay, Smart Tool. You can use the Smart Tool over here to help you add keyframes. So make sure your keyframe button is on in your Smart Tool, and that will also make it easier to add keyframes throughout your timeline. Okay, so that is all for Lesson 7. I hope you enjoyed everything that you learned. Leon out. Oh, look, I can do this. I could do that if I was young. I'm pretty sure I could do that. Leon out.